What do we all celebrate? On Chanukah, do we celebrate secularism? Do we celebrate Zionism, socialism, or any other ism? No, the exact opposite. We celebrate the Torah. In approximately a week, we're going to celebrate one of the favorite holidays among all Jews, including the non-religious Jews, including the atheist Jews. What holiday? Chanukah. Chanukah, everyone knows part of the story. The Greeks tried to destroy us spiritually, turn all of the Jews into idol worshippers. They didn't care about killing us physically, they only cared about killing us spiritually. And they succeeded to a certain extent until the Maccabees declared war on them. Who are these Maccabees? How many millions of them were there? There was no millions, there was no 100,000s, there wasn't even 20. There was a few Maccabees, small little family. All were avrechim, Torah scholars. Never picked up a sword. I'd be surprised if they picked up a knife to eat food. They declared war against the strongest army in the world, much more powerful than what America or China is in the world today. These avrechim, Torah scholars, went to war against the Greeks in the name of God and won the war. There wasn't special weapons. It wasn't negotiations. There was only doing the will of God. Go to war in the name of God. If you're going to war for the honor of my name, Hashem says, you already won. Hashem yilachem lachem v'atem techareshun, as the Torah says in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. God will fight your wars and you shall remain silent. What do we all celebrate? On Chanukah, do we celebrate secularism? Do we celebrate Zionism, socialism, or any other ism? No, the exact opposite. We celebrate the Torah because the only reason why Am Yisrael exists in the world today is because of this small group of Torah scholars that decided to become warriors with a sword they didn't even know how to hold. And some of them, the Midrash says it was too heavy for them. Why? Because they decided to go fight the war in honor of God and destroyed the most powerful army on planet Earth at the time. The Greek Empire wasn't the Greece of today where everything is white on a beach. This Greek Empire was located in Syria. How do we beat them? Simple. HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided who wins the war. The battle against Sisera was won because of a young woman named Yael. Little girl, Jewish tzadikah, took Sisera, chopped off his head. Am Yisrael won the war. Why? Hashem decides who wins the war. The battles of Gideon, the battles of Am Yisrael across all spectrums, throughout all of our history, have only been won because HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided that we're going to win. Not because we had armies, not because we had ballistic missiles. One of the greatest proofs is the fact that we've been in the exile for 2,000 years. Tortured and murdered by every hosting nation that hosted us for a period of time before they decided to murder us. Everyone went to war against us, but without an army, we outlived every one of those nations. Despite the Holocaust, we are here and they're not. But there were times that we lost, like in the Holocaust, like in the Spanish Inquisition, like in other pogroms. Why? Because God decided we needed to lose in order to do TeShuva, in order to fix ourselves and realize who's the reason of why we won every other war before it. When people ask, where was God during the Holocaust? Or where was God during October 7th? Or where was God during every other Jewish tragedy? He was there. He was the one that allowed it to happen. Because that's the message we needed to hear. That's the message we needed to live through. That's the message that we needed to take advantage of in order to do TeShuva and realize that the only way we could ever win, needless to say, the only way we could continue surviving, is if HaKadosh Baruch Hu allows it. Now, why do many of the Jewish people still believe in the army or the politics or the money or the influence out there? It's because they're distant from God. They're distant from the truth. Now, although there is certainly a use and a need for soldiers, and we appreciate the soldiers and value them and all their efforts and how they are willing to sacrifice their life to defend their brothers and sisters, the reality is that the only way they can win is if HaKadosh Baruch Hu allows it. How do we get HaKadosh Baruch Hu to allow it? Do the same thing that worked for us every other time we won the war. Whether it's at the time of Ram, Yaakov, the 12 tribes, Moshe Rabbeinu, Yeshua ben Nun, David HaMelech, Gideon, the Maccabees. Serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do TeShuva. Keep Shabbat, family purity, kashrut, be honest in business, fulfill the entire Torah, run away from heresy, idolatry, and all types of things that are from the ideology of Esav. Because even though Esav, he's your brother, he's still your enemy. And that's why Yaakov Avinu said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Atzileni na miyad achi miyad Esav, save me from my brother, save me from Esav. Save me from my brother, save me from Esav. Why save me from my brother, save me from Esav? Because when he's Esav, I know how to deal with him. All I got to do is give him some money, give him some bribes. That I can deal with. You already gave me the blessings to do that. But when he pretends to be my brother, and therefore he'll come over whenever he wants, he'll visit whenever he wants, he'll show up at the synagogue whenever he wants, he has an open door policy, even during the coronavirus, where everybody was not even allowed to leave their houses, somehow the government of Israel allowed several airplanes full of Christian missionaries to enter Israel to do their idol worship missionary stuff, and influence Am Yisrael to become idol worshippers. People were not allowed to leave their house, but somehow planes full of missionaries were allowed to enter Israel without any restrictions. Why? Because the government of Israel is not a Jewish government. It's a government of Edom. It's a government of Amalek. It's a government of Erev Rav. And if you have faith in anything but HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're simply living a lie. You're living a lie. If you want to help the war, you have to help the world of Torah. You have to publicize the Torah. You have to do TeShuva. You have to help other Jews do TeShuva. The more Jews do TeShuva, the more the Torah is publicized, the more the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is publicized, that influences Am Yisrael to do TeShuva, the more you are empowering our brothers that are fighting in this war and giving them the ability to win. The only weapon that will win this war is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything else is simply a figment of your imagination. If you're spending more than a minute a day following the news as if you can change it, whether you're following the weather systems and tragic earthquakes in different parts of the world, or the government defaults, or you're following the different weapons, or the threats from different countries, or the political stance of some new politician no one ever heard of, or even the old ones that forgot what they said yesterday, you're simply wasting your time, and you're actually betraying. You're betraying your brothers and sisters, the Jewish people. Why? Because you watching the news, you sharing the news, is not going to make even a single Jew do tshuva. Instead of that, you should be reading Tehillim. Instead of that, you should be learning a SHIUR Torah. Instead of that, you should be publicizing the Torah. And don't tell me, oh, I'm doing this and this. No such thing as you doing this and this. And od milvado, there's nothing else but HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time with anything but serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whether it's by praying, learning Torah, or by sharing the Torah. That's the only job that you could do right now to help Am Yisrael win. Everything else is a lie. Hopefully this will influence many of you to narrow your focus on what's the truth, distance your lives from lies, and Be'ezrat Hashem, help Am Yisrael win the war.
מה טוב לי תורתך, כל היום היא שיחתי. מה טוב לי תורתך, כל היום היא שיחתי.